Hey, it's Coprolalia. Hey, episode 7.
Number 7.
Number 7. This time I've got a glass of wine. That's going to make it more interesting.
Oh damn! How about I open up a
Oh.
bottle of bloody?
Get yourself a drop, boy. Get yourself a drop. So this is following up from number 6, the first episode ever uploaded.
Ever seen by the natural world?
Greg's already got his hard copy from us. It's pressed into wax. All right.
Yeah, like who actually started those pre-orders? Because I never set that up.
I think Greg started it, and then he bought it. Was sold out.
If he's recording us and then pressing that on vinyl without telling us, I'm totally okay with that. Keep going, Greg.
There's grounds to sue.
I'm not that savvy. He's pretty clever.
We should actually hire him as our lawyer.
Oh, he's a lawyer.
Don't know. But neither are we, so so far just the worst start. Constipated man has 12 kilos of feces surgically removed.
Whoa!
That's the headline I've got.
Wow.
Want to dive on into that?
Wait, where was the feces removed from?
Well, I'd assume his butt.
Oh, so he just wasn't shitting it well, or?
Well, constipated. Constipated man.
Oh, constipated man. Okay, alright.
Constantinople man. A man from Constantinople that was constipated. Constantly was not shitting. Have you ever constantly not shit? Oh, it's I looked at it. It's just it's just a giant bladder worth of shit.
Ew!
That's fucked.
Thanks, Vice.
We would have no content if it weren't for Vice. I've actually been spending a lot of time on Vice. This is actually just a Vice podcast now. But they've got some good articles. Okay, actually, here's something. Okay, here's what I've been thinking about today. I was reading up on Elon Musk, old Muskie. He comes up quite a lot on this show.
Yeah, he's great.
So he's gonna shoot one of his Musk sticks into space.
What does that even mean? His Musk sticks.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
That's what I'm calling his rockets, or his Musk sticks.
Oh, really? Yeah.
No, yeah, that's what I'm calling them.
I see. Alrighty.
Yeah, because I'm not going to explain my joke. It killed it, man.
I'm sorry.
So he still plans to send people to Mars in 2024.
Yeah.
2024. That's just like that in terms of space travel. That's tomorrow.
He's is he gonna set up a colony there?
That's the fucking idea. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. 2024, and get
the
this.
amount of people who have had the money he's had, and just,
Just
reveled in
haven't
it,
done
just
it.
swam in it, dived in
Right?
it like the duck from DuckTales or whatever. Scrooge McDuck swimming
Scrooge
through
McDuck.
his vault full of gold.
Yeah.
If they had realized, like, if they'd put their mind to it, they could have colonized Mars.
Right.
I hope they're slapping their foreheads so hard that they
I
die.
don't think they give a shit. I don't think they give a shit.
Ugh.
I know, but doesn't
I'm gonna
matter.
get a picture of
'cause
Scrooge McDuck for the viewers.
now- Greg's a very visual learner, and he needs a little bit of help. So, also, another thing is that the plan is that these tickets. And this is hypothetical, I suppose. Still at this point.
Oh my
all
gosh.
all of this is hypothetical.
Yeah.
What? So tickets apparently only going to be $200,000 to get to Mars, and that sounds like a fair amount of money to your average.
If
average
you're
Joe on
working
the
for
streets.
that specifically, like if you work just towards that, it's doable.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Yeah, it's absolutely doable. Like some people pull in, like I don't know what do I fucking?
I reckon like about 60K is like the minimum bracket that people
Oh,
are going to
shit.
earn
Is that-
for full-time work. I believe.
Is that Is that all I fucking make?
60K.
No, 26.
Oh, damn.
It's not that much.
Well, at
I mean,
least
it's enough.
it's a deposit.
Yeah. But that's me. That's me only doing 25 hours a week. So that's pretty good. But people who are working full time, well, let's take that up a little notch. Let's take it up to 900. That's still $46,000, basically 47. So if you, I don't know, you could invest your money, you could rob people, you could get there. I'm saying it would take that long.
You could get there, yeah.
Logically, to get to Mars. Like, give yourself 5, even 10 years. Like, fuck it. If you start now, if you start working now to get to get there, you're there. If you get chosen.
Yeah, that's exciting.
He wants to send 1 million people. He wants to send fucking 1 million people up there to colonize Mars. Just insanity. I mean, the one thing I noticed though is I was reading through the comments. This is kind of the point I wanted to talk about, not just reread an article from Vice, but my little added bit is all the comment section and a lot of professional responses to his speech. Right, was like it's just people scoffing essentially. It's like. Like it's gonna happen. Like this is even possible. Like, well, yeah, this is all hypothetical.
Yeah, it's called what is it called? Anti-intellectualism or something like that. Essentially, those who are optimistic and using like intelligence for good things are considered to be stupid.
Yeah.
And like foolish and yeah, it's totally a thing. In fact, for every person who's happy about Elon Musk doing his thing, there's like an equal amount who are just like, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah. It's like it's foolish from the outside to a lot of people to even try because it's so absurd. It's so unlikely. Like, so why would you even bother? Why would you spend all this money on getting to Mars when you could fix planet Earth, you fucking idiot?
I see that, but he's also doing that, I hope. I'm pretty sure he is.
Yeah. I mean, he's building fucking Teslas.
He hasn't given up on...
He's trying to fix the automotive industry. So, you know, he's building the biggest solar batteries in the world.
Yeah.
He's got other shit on his table. That's the whole point about him. And I don't know Elon Musk. Haven't met the guy. Probably not gonna meet the guy. But and obviously, I doubt he's all this. You know, I doubt he's like this amazing guy who's only got good intentions. That seems unrealistic. He's a businessman. He's a business mogul, and he's made a shitload of money out of all kinds of different things. So I'm sure he's got a dark side. Yeah, he invented PayPal or something.
And shoelaces.
So he's not like an inherently good guy, I'm sure. But the only thing we should be doing is supporting him if he's trying to get us to fucking Mars, or if he's trying to fix the automotive industry and like get us off fossil fuels. Like, anyone who's downing him should. It's just there is no downside to supporting him. It's his company's money. Like,
yeah.
If the goal is just to get human beings onto Mars, then the worst case scenario is we don't get to Mars, and we're already not on Mars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you.
Just give him.
I reckon
faith.
a show of a good podcast would be that the Devil's Advocate is given a turn.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'd say like I want him to just like fully succeed or whatever. Oh, you already said it, didn't you? You already said that he's not like an intrinsically good person.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got a dark side to him, and like obviously money would drive a lot of what he does. I'm sure.
Dark Side of Elon Musk. I feel like that's a good
that's a good album name.
Oh yeah.
Dark Side of Elon Musk.
Yeah, he should just like have a side project.
That's like my favorite Psytrance album, Dark Side of Elon Musk. Using Dark Side of the Moon samples.
Elon Musk Sticks would be the name of the artist.
Also, the fucking rocket that's going to take him up there is nicknamed officially by SpaceX the BFR, which is big fucking rocket.
Wow.
Right? Just so much fun. You go to Mars. You go to like fuck. There's no there's
Fuck.
no fucking. What am I fucking thinking? I've sworn so much in the last 30 seconds.
Have you heard my plan to
No, which one?
I want so Earth's in the sweet spot of the distance from the sun.
Yep.
That everything works. Well,
yep.
Right.
It just works.
It just works. We should find a way to push Mars into our zone.
Alright.
You feel me? You're on board?
I don't think... Yeah. Alright. Keep going.
So it can become habitable if it's like the right distance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we gotta push or pull Mars towards us.
I can only see that working perfectly.
Yeah. I also even equated for the idea that it might crash into the Earth because they're on the same circuit, and but that we should allow that.
Yeah, like
we should just hunker down. It'll be a complete random which part of the Earth it's going to actually hit.
If it hits the Earth, it's all fucked. There's no good parts of the Earth left after that.
Huh. Well, what about it? If we invest in the right kind of bunkers. Oh, but still, that's just going to be a class situation.
What? Do you remember what? We weren't there, but do you remember what happened when the asteroid came and hit Earth and killed all the dinosaurs?
Yeah, the birds survived.
That was pretty.
And the crocodiles. A
couple of guys survived. A couple of blokes survived. But you're talking about I mean, if you had some bunkers, but like, how would that even work? Like, you need, because if Mars is huge,
it's real big. Yeah.
To start with, is it bigger than Earth?
Well, if we get enough people off Earth, let it smash into Earth. And there might even be a period of time where the humans that are left behind get this like Mad Max wasteland scenario before
I don't
Mars.
think there would be any planet Earth left. That does.
If it does smash into it, yeah, but that's okay because everyone's out on a spaceship watching it happen, and then they're gonna go land on Mars once it's in the sweet spot.
Oh, there'll be no Mars either.
What are you talking about?
There's not gonna be anything. It's gonna be the
two
planets.
I disagree.
Okay, for one as well, like that's gonna completely fuck up the trajectory around the sun. So they're both gonna leave the.
Well, are you talking about like a full speed, just like 1,000 kilometers an hour smash into it?
Do things graze each other in space? I'm pretty sure if they hit each other, they're going so quickly in space, like relatively, it's going to be catastrophic no matter what. I don't think there's like I don't think you get sideswiped in I don't think you get like you're not trading paint with other planets, you know? If you hit it, it's a full collision.
Well, what if we have the technology to slow shit down?
If we had the technology to slow shit down, then we could just have the technology to terraform Mars where it's at and leave it alone.
No.
Yeah. They're actually talking about terraforming Mars anyway.
I even as a sci-fi fiction novel, I think my idea is good. It's good. It's good.
Hey man, you write your fucking novel, but it's not gonna work in real life.
I don't have the patience to write a novel.
Yeah, me neither. Something I want to do, but it's just so much work. As is everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm giving up. I'm done. I'm dead.
On the concept, or
just
on smashing Mars into fucking Earth?
No, that'll happen. It's life. I'm giving up on life. Now let's move on. Obviously, I'm not gonna kill myself. Too chicken.
All right. Oh, we haven't got music. I was like, oh shit, that's actually
Ah.
that's a proper dead air right there. And I was like, that feels weird. No, we have dead air all the time, but there's always something in the little background, a little trippy trippy.
Yeah, here we go. I'll fix her up. I'll fix her
Get
up.
them drums. Get them drums going.
Oh yeah, you want some
You know what I'm
drums,
saying?
do you?
Yeah. Well, I don't care what it is. Drums, flute, a tin whistle, playing sweet nothings. I
Oh.
don't mind.
Because it's episode 7, I'm going to type 7 flutes.
Is that play 7? Oh, okay, yeah. Change this. It's
Lord Krishna flute music. That'll do.
Oh, no, apologies. Let's see how we go. Oh, there it is. Dude's just fucking shredding on it.
That's insane.
You know how I've mentioned in previous episodes, which I don't think anyone else would have listened to anyway, but so when we were listening to the pan flutes and stuff like that, I mentioned that we play that music in my cafe for some reason. Like occasionally the boss will put it on, so it'll be a cafe full of people, just a roar, because the room is like a just a wooden box essentially, so it's so fucking loud. But then you just hear this slight casual pan flute in the background. It's really, really unsettling. I fucking hate it.
It's unsettling.
Yeah, I find it really unsettling because it's such a
Ah.
juxtaposition against the ruckus, you know, and also like that
The
that kind of
ruckus.
music. That kind of music conjures like seedy massage parlors and shit like that, you know,
Oh, yeah.
or like getaway retreats and things like that. So I find it kind of weird in a cafe setting. But today, he had it was called this cafe music. I don't know what it's called, like cafe blah 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 blah. But what it sounded like was like the soundtrack to fucking Blade Runner or something like that. It was just these really like massive theatrical synth chords, and it was really strange to be serving people coffee. I'm like, g'day, would you like a latte? And it's like, dun dun.
Also, are you a synth?
Synths order. What would they order? Decaf, large, skinny lattes.
Oh.
Anyway, so it was a strange morning with that music. It made me uneasy. I can't imagine what all these fucking suits think as well. Like all these suits coming in to get a coffee, and there's this weird like paddy weird synthy shit in the background. Quite odd.
I like
And
that
the barista was just like, yeah, this is sweet for you, but you're making coffee. Like the guys coming to get coffee are not going to be on board with this kind of shit.
Ah, yeah. Well, you know how we went to the Little Rogue
Yes.
and they were playing hip hop music. You reckon
Yeah, I
that's
think that was fine.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that's fine.
yeah.
I've heard it go too far. Like sometimes if it gets a bit too much. Hey, it's your cafe. You can do what the fuck you want. But I guess it's like these guys know what audience, what their clientele is like, and they're trying to cater for them. So if they've got kind of music playing like that, I'm like, well, you're not analyzing every aspect of your business if you're playing this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is just talking about my work. So let's jump on to another topic. So we've talked about space.
Yeah.
That's our science for today. Moving straight along into Cuphead. I'm going to play Cuphead tonight.
Oh, you got it?
I bought it, and it's downloading now as we speak.
Oh,
and I'm going to play it with my little brother. He's going to come around. We're going to have a good old-fashioned gaming night.
Yeah.
Couple
Oh,
of
hell.
tinnies,
Is it,
couple of cups.
what'd you get it for, Xbox?
Yeah, the X-Bone.
X-Bone.
Yep. Because my PC's dead anyway, so Xbox is the way.
True. How do I buy Cuphead? Cuphead. Steam. Because it's a beautiful game.
fucking in.
It's a really
just
gorgeous game.
Unbelievable, stunning.
It's only $20 too. Wow.
Yeah, it's $30 unfortunately on Xbox. But...
Yeah, but that's because only people in a higher price bracket bother with fucking consoles. Let's be honest.
I'm borrowing my brother's, so I don't need to pay for shit. But it's exciting. I'm so excited for it. This is a game. This is like the pinnacle of a game that
it's a game. It's definitely a game.
has doubled down. Like they knew what they were wanting to make. You know, like they had an idea, and they did not what's the word?
Relent.
They didn't relent. They just went for it. They went 110% on their idea. And
I'll put up a picture for the folks.
It's all fucking hand drawn as well. Every fucking thing is hand drawn. It's crazy.
The trailer started playing.
Oh,
I fixed it. So yeah, explain it. Explain their direction and the concept.
Okay. Perhaps as a reference point, it's a run and gun shooter. Much like perhaps I would probably I haven't played it yet, so I'm going off what I've seen. But I would say it's kind of closest to like Contra.
Yeah.
What's that? Or maybe Metal Slug Stick? Wait, Metal Slug. No, Metal Slug. Not Metal Slug.
Yeah. Contra and Metal Slug are a good.
Yeah.
Yep.
But if those games were set in what is it, like 1940s style?
So I think it's specifically 1930s.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Look.
Because I watched some gameplay. So it's all hand drawn, and then scanned in.
It was done as they would have in the times, obviously with modern technology, but like they didn't want to like use bones and stuff like that to animate things. I don't think, because that would you can tell the difference, I guess. I don't know. I honestly probably should have looked it up more before I started talking about it. But oh boy, it looks exciting. I'm ready to.
Trying to find a good screenshot. Its impressiveness is in the movement, so a screenshot doesn't do it justice. But I think the character design and stuff is worth checking out. I'm trying to look for a good image. And also, I learnt that so there's you've seen those cartoons where they have part of the eye cut out. You know how they've got the pupil, and there's like a triangle cut out of it. That's actually to signify which direction they're looking. So if you look at any picture with that design, with the wedge cut out of it, it's because they're staring at the direction the wedge is pointing.
Huh, that's cool. Very clever.
Yeah.
I have learnt something today.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna use that in my little cartoons. It's cool.
Oh yeah, do it.
I'm gonna do it. That's why I bought it. I'm gonna learn so much about animation and character design from this game. And apparently it's hard. Apparently it's fucking hard, which I'm kind of excited about. That should be good. Because I did enjoy Contra a lot when I used to play it. Anyway.
When it was Sorry.
Yep. No,
you go,
hey,
you little bitch.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I get really excited these days. Like, the most exciting thing about a game for me is when they do stay true to their concept and like they.
Oh yeah, they definitely delayed their release for a while.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some other examples. Perhaps something like Doom actually is a good example. Because that's a AAA game, whatever the fuck AAA really means, but it's a AAA game that actually just it had a concept, it had an idea, and it just stuck with it. It didn't seem to water it down in any way for modern audiences or whatever game companies think needs to be done to sell. And it's just a straight up shooter, and it's perfect. One of my favorite games of this year. Was it this year or last year? I can't remember. But anyway, just because I've been playing Fallout 4 lately, which I love Fallout 4, mainly because I love Fallout more than anything. But it just feels just so much like it's a role-playing game that just really fucking half-assed the role-playing game. It's not a role-playing game anymore. It's just an action-adventure game. The role-playing aspect is just not there really at all. Like, it's kind of like hinted at, and that shits me even more. I'd actually prefer if there was no role playing, and if they actually just wrote you a character and you played a character that they've pre-designed, and you
Oh
just
yeah,
listen to
you
the
mean like
dialogue.
a linear setup?
Yeah, I would
Well,
prefer
that is
over
technically what
half-assed.
they actually did. I mean, you listen to the way he talks and stuff. It is just a person. Like he has he's looking for his son.
Yeah.
He has like I don't know. Yeah, I didn't feel like I was creating a character out of thin air. I thought I was just playing a character pre-designed.
But he's a shitty character because they wanted to have a hint of you choosing how he acted. Because you can either just be like, "Oh my god, I'm the knight, I'm the hero of this game, and I'm gonna go save my son. I'm gonna rid this the Commonwealth of filth." Or you can be a sarcastic dick to everybody and go like, "Yeah, fuck you guys. I'm just gonna do my own thing," and that's it. And because you can switch between those two as well, you never feel like you're connected to the character because he's all over the fucking place. He's not a designed character. He doesn't feel like a real person, and that shits me. Like, if you're gonna do a role playing game, just make it a fucking role playing game. Give them options. Give them ways to change things and change outcomes. And you kind of can. But only in terms of like, do I kill these people or do I not kill these people? That's basically the only moral choices you have, and it's usually so obvious which one to choose.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, a little rant over.
You gotta get it out somehow.
Just fucking shits me. This is not new topics anyway. This is all this kind of shit is my own opinion as well because I've been playing Fallout for so long, but it's also just like fed in from like watching Jim Sterling and stuff like that. It's just watering down concepts for games. And it's just shitty.
Well, yeah, I think video games in general have become more watered down. The industry has spread out. It's spread to the entire world rather than just the places in the world that the console was sold or etc.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it marketable for everywhere.
Which hurts the game in the end.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing something like fucking, I don't know, like Call of Duty or fucking, what are those other shooters? I don't know, like even Overwatch, like those kind of games you can kind of please everyone. It's just about fun, and that's all it's about. And you don't really have to worry about it too much. But these other ones that are trying to tell a particular story or try to run with a particular type of gameplay that isn't for everybody, then you got to make sure you're aiming properly. You got to actually stick to your guns. You can't just anyway. Especially for fucking Fallout, like something like that. God, here we go again. Like Fallout, once you turn it into an action role-playing game, then you probably would prefer if it had better combat. But it's a fucking Bethesda game, and Bethesda's never had good combat. It's somewhat intriguing only because you're getting you get to unlock new weapons and armor and stuff like that and new abilities. But in terms of actual combat, in terms of the actual how fun it is to actually fight other things, it feels so clunky, and it feels like you're not really in control. You don't walk away going like, oh yeah, I really played that bit well. I aimed perfectly and everything lined up and it was great. You just sometimes think like, I just had a better gun than them. So why was there even combat like that?
Yeah, I respect I respect Fallout 3 for its because it was the first of the 3D FPS era of Fallout. They went full with the gore. Like, you watched their eyeballs like bounce around and their brain would fucking explode. I respected that because
that was it was gory the first two as well. Like
yeah. But they were looking at an audience that was a fraction of what Fallout 3 and the rest of them became.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're good and they're still great. Like, if I hadn't played 1 and 2, I guess I wouldn't be as mad. But I played 1 and 2 and more of those classic role-playing games, and those I just felt so much more invested in the stories And that was the part that I loved more than. Although, no, when I was playing it, I was excited to find new weapons and armor and shit and explore different areas and whatever. But the things that stuck with me are the different stories, different characters I met. And with Fallout 3, I can't really recall any characters except for Three Dog.
Three Dog!
New Vegas, I liked Mr. House in Vegas. There was a couple of super mutants actually that I thought were pretty cool. There's a couple of little characters in Vegas that I thought were interesting. So far in number 4, there's the captain on the ship. He's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, I
kind of about it. I can't really think of any other characters that I really like. Valentine's fun. He's interesting, but not super interesting. Not game making interesting.
I sort of enjoyed. Who is the guy hosting the radio in the 4th one? He's like incredibly timid.
Yeah.
But he also used to question like the songs. You know how I think the song would show one of the social values of the time that's just completely outdated now. And he was just like, that doesn't that sound a little bit creepy?
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, there's one song in that. It's interesting like playing a game like that and you get to go through those old style those older songs. And I've listened to stuff outside the soundtracks as well a little bit. Some of the songs, like there's always little undertones of sexism and whatever, or racism, fucking anything. There's always undertones from the political points of view in the times. But some of them are just so... I don't know how you could hear them any other way, except for, like, there was one song on there that, you can't get away because I'm right behind you, girl.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, how could they write a song like that unless they fully meant it like that, unless it was intended as, like, you can't physically get away from me.
I heard one recently where, it's the same time period. Someone singing, "She's beautiful, she's 16, and she's mine."
Yeah.
And like singing about how nice it is to have one of those younger girls. And I was like, whoa, that's actually illegal now. You can't...
Was it? What was it like back then? Age of...
Age of consent... What was consent back then? I don't even know if the concept existed.
Yeah.
Do you know the song Yakety Yak?
Whoa. Okay, things are... Oh.
You've just opened up the Pandora's box, didn't you?
Jesus.
You're not meant to touch that.
When was this? 1875. Age of consent was 12.
Whoa!
Jesus.
Whoa!
Each state determines its own criminal law, and the age of consent ranged from 10 to 12.
Born in the wrong time period, for sure.
The term jailbait came into play in 1930. Fucking hell. Alright, you say what you were going to say about Rock Lobster, or something else.
It was Yakety Yak, not Rock Lobster, but I do enjoy that. No, Yakety Yak.
Yep.
Lyrics. Let me get that going. So, the whole song is basically this person telling this woman to do all these jobs. Take out the papers in the trash, or you don't get no spending cash. If you don't scrub that floor, and then I think I'm not sure what he means by Yakety Yak. He could be mocking the fact that she talks too much, but he is, because then this like really deep voice comes over and just goes, "Don't talk back."
Yeah,
Yakety Yak, don't talk back. It's it's actually creepy. When the deep voice comes in, it's like, is that meant to be like a masculine, commanding voice telling her like, if you don't scrub that kitchen floor and take out the trash, like, you don't get to rock and roll no more. Yakety Yak is like him like doing the talking thing with his hand. He's just like, don't talk back.
Wow.
It's like it's actively aggressive.
Yeah. And there's a lot of them like that. There's a lot of fucking songs like that in that time period.
They're catchy as fuck, but
oh man, they knew how to write a fucking hook.
they had to because they were dickheads. Nah.
Also, because
I'm just making sweeping statements now.
Unlike...
Everyone from that time period was a dickhead.
Scientifically proven. The length was 1 minute and 52 seconds. That's the thing about music from that time period, though. Like radio play was short as fuck. So you had to have that hook because that was the only thing you had. The song was the hook. That was all you had. Obviously that's also a sweeping statement, but for a single on the radio, like things were very different. Actually, it hasn't changed like so much on the mainstream radio, but anyway. Crazy though, fucking crazy. It's still shocking to me, which I guess really shows us like how so distracted by that.
Yeah, I know, he's going nuts, isn't he?
Solo. Still get shocked by people thinking like that so strongly, not just like casually sexist, casually racist, but just like so full on like, oh yeah, no, women are just here for us. Like that's the only reason they exist.
It comes out in this like ironic fashion, but they'd still sort of mean it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I'm used to that. I'm used to hearing people being ironic, but kind of still true, or still believing it. I mean, or just like really, just really casually a little bit sexist towards people, or racist or fucking whatever. And then I'm used to that, so I can kind of see it. I don't really know. I don't know if I pull people up because I'm a bit of a wimp. But it's crazy that like even in the pop culture of that day, it was such a strong message of like there'd be pop songs about fucking like racist, like really racist popular songs.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, like obviously I knew it existed. I'm not saying like, oh my god, I didn't even know. I knew it. But it's yeah. Still so shocking for my privileged little white brain.
We're almost good people. That's what I think.
We're trying real hard.
I have a deviation from what we're discussing.
Yeah, it's time for a deviation.
It's a picture I've just seen, which has a very very funny sort of tweet or something.
No.
I watch Rick and Morty. That's a quote. The class is shocked at my overwhelming intelligence. How? I can't even understand its sheer nuance and subtlety. Well, wubba lubba dub dub. One student laughs, and I turn to see who the fellow genius is. It's none other than Albert Einstein.
I love Rick and Morty.
Yeah, me too, but I love
how serious people are taking it.
Yeah, there's a copy paste thing that I crack up every time I see it, even though it's posted like 20 times a day. Yeah. To be fair, something like that. I'm gonna search it. You have to be. Yeah, here we go. To be fair, Rick and Morty copy pasta. I'll read it for you.
Okay.
To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand Rick and Morty. The humor is extremely subtle, and without a solid grasp of theoretical physics, most of the jokes will go over a typical viewer's head. There's also Rick's nihilistic outlook, which is deftly woven into his characterization. His personal philosophy draws heavily from Narodnaya Volya literature, for instance. The fans understand this stuff. They have the intellectual capacity to truly appreciate the depths of these jokes, to realize that they're not just funny. They say something deep about life. As a consequence, people who dislike Rick and Morty truly are idiots. Of course, they wouldn't appreciate, for instance, the humor in Rick's existential catchphrase, wubba lubba dub dub, which itself is a cryptic reference to Turgenev's Russian epic Fathers and Sons. I'm smirking right now just imagining one of those addle-pated simpletons scratching their heads in confusion as Dan Harmon's genius wit unfolds itself on their television screens. What fools, how I pity them. And yes, by the way, I do have a Rick and Morty tattoo. And no, you cannot see it. It's for the ladies' eyes only. And even then, they have to demonstrate that they're within 5 IQ points of my own, preferably lower, beforehand. Nothing personal, kid.
I mean, that person who wrote that clearly gets it. Like, they clearly understand the absurdity of the whole thing.
Yeah. And you'd wonder whether everyone who is reposting that same comment over and over again, like, I reckon they do get it. But do they actually think it's not a smart show? Because I think it is quite a smart show.
No,
it's not that smart.
It's not that smart. If you watched Dan Harmon, like, speak in podcasts and stuff like that, or
he's just having a laugh. Like, he totally is.
Yeah, I think that's the part of the brilliance of his humor. However, is that he's constantly just absurdity. Like he's running with ideas really quickly. He allows himself to just to just run with ideas, right? You can especially see it when he talks, because he'll go on big rants and people will call him out. He's like, yeah, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because he'll instantly go, oh, okay, yeah, I was wrong about that, but I'm still gonna say my point because fuck it, doesn't matter. Yeah. And you can see that in the humor of Rick and Morty, as well as the humor of fucking of what's it called Community as well.
Community is a clever show too.
There's teams of writers involved, so they get a lot of clever things into it, but I don't know. It's just like people reading into shit.
Yes.
There's a lot there. And Rick and Morty's very, very clever. But also, like, the physicist jokes, like, shows have had that shit. Futurama's had that shit for fucking ages.
Yeah.
Simpsons has had that shit for fucking ages, you know? Because again, there's teams of writers making this shit. So, like, they're spending months on an episode.
Oh, yeah.
And they put in tiny little in-jokes that they don't even really... I don't even think they're intending for people to get them.
No one actually gets every joke. It's totally a thing.
That's why you rewatch and rewatch and rewatch, because you get different things out of each watching.
Oh, totally. The amount of references that some shows make actually don't allow you to get it all. And
yeah.
There are a few conversations I read on 4chan about a couple of different Simpsons jokes, because people like to do this. Now that the dust has settled, does anyone actually get this joke or reference? And one of them was Sneed's Feed and Seed. It was this. Sorry? It's in this episode, Homer goes to the countryside, and there's this little outpost grocery store or whatever. It's called Sneed's Feed and Seed, and underneath in brackets it says formerly Chuck's, and no one got it. No one understood what the hell he was talking about. And so someone contacted the writer on that episode and asked, like, what do you actually mean by that?
Yeah.
And he said, the idea was, so it's Sneed's Feed and Seed. If it was Chuck's, it would be Chuck's fucking suck.
What?
Because it's just rhyming the...
That's it. That's all.
Yeah, that's the whole joke. It's designed to go over kids' heads, but like not even adults would have really put all of that together.
No, that's a fair amount of information to try and process, and assumptions to be made as well in a very short amount of time. Just watching Homer walk into the shop, and in that time period, that time frame, you have to go.
Chuck's Feed and Seed. Yeah.
All right.
So there you go.
That's actually kind of. There's just because something's in there and is a reference or kind of clever doesn't actually mean it's inherently a good joke. Like just because, like, okay, so Rick and Morty or Futurama are good ones because they're futuristic. So they use a lot of physicist jokes and science jokes and fucking and whatever, right? And computing jokes and stuff like that. And we'll put them in there. And because also there's so many backgrounds, I think that's a big part of those two shows, especially is there's big vast backgrounds as Rick and Morty will travel through customs or through a bar in another galaxy or something like that. So there's a lot of chances to put in little bits and pieces in the background that no one would really realize about.
Yeah.
However, just by putting in a reference doesn't mean they're geniuses. Like, they're drawing that scene for however long, and just because there's a joke, it's not even a joke, it's just a reference to something else, to a concept that's in their head at the time.
Oh yeah, referencing something doesn't automatically equal humor either, yeah.
It doesn't automatically equal genius either. Like, they just read something that they liked. Maybe they understand the concept, maybe it totally means something to them, but they just put it in there just as like it's almost like harking back to something, or just referencing. We're already using the word referencing. I don't know, like, I don't necessarily think that shows inherent genius. Not to say that these people aren't geniuses. Not to say that they're amazing people. They're fantastic creators, and they put a lot of work and love into these shows. But people are just putting them up on pedestals, and that shits me. It makes it, it's like, oh, we're just mere mortals compared to Dan Harmon. If you were to
we're waiting for
say
him
that to Dan Harmon would laugh in your face. He wouldn't give a shit. He's not. I don't know Dan Harmon. He's egotistical, but
he's also super cynical. So he's not like he enjoys the stupidity of his audience, essentially. Yeah. Like he does enjoy the fact that, like, they're all thinking that they get the joke and that they're in on something with Dan Harmon, but really, like, there's nothing going on there. He's just
there's nothing there.
He's like shit posting with a show that makes enough money for him to live off. That's his thing.
Yeah. And artists have been doing that for a long time. Beatles did it with fucking what's that song? I'm the Walrus.
Oh yeah, like, just having a laugh.
Fuck you to everybody. Yeah, everyone read into it. It's and it's great. I love that kind of humor though. Who's that guy? The guy that does the selfie stick with a gun on it? Joan.
Joan Cornella.
Joan Cornella.
Yeah.
He is incredible at it. He just does so much shit. Like the where's the one with the little black midget kid? That's not P. That's a very un-PC sentence. I wonder if I can find it. Doesn't matter. So there's a kid gets burnt. And then the parents. Yeah, here it is. Here, yeah. Is it? Yes, it is. So there's an old guy filling up a car with petrol. The petrol lights on fire, burns him because he's smoking a cigarette. A man finds this burnt small man, and sweet, now we've got a black kid, and we sent it to school, and the black kid's happy with these other white kids. What does that mean? Especially to I don't know, like...
Wait.
Even if there is meaning in there, which there could well be, I don't think the artist is necessarily trying to communicate what they were what they were thinking with you. You know? Like, they kind of conjure the image and images, and to them, they were like, yeah, well, that's what it means to me, but I've got a lot of knowledge prior to this. I painted the thing, so I knew what I was thinking. I know what I experienced that day when I did it, so it makes sense to me. But in terms of actual communication, he hasn't communicated enough for us to get the point. You know what I'm saying?
Sort of. I was just quickly, based on what you were saying about people not really getting it, or like the intention of the artist or whatever being misconstrued. There's this philosopher called Jacques Derrida, whose argument is basically that language is too primitive for us to fully convey anything, that we're not going to really fully understand each other ever, and that's just how it is. We can't really communicate.
Yeah. And I think that's... I think it's fine to create shit that people aren't gonna get, because and not as if like, oh, I've made this thing that you're just not gonna get because you don't know, you're not in the same bracket as me in terms of understanding, but it's just like it's using images that automatically conjure responses from us,
right,
and putting them out there. And I think that's enough. I think that's funny enough and interesting enough, because it just makes people think regardless. It's like if you're trying to make a political point, you put it into words. Is the best communication tool we've got, and even then, yeah, as you just said, like it's still flawed.
Totally.
But yeah.
Did you watch the latest South Park?
Yes, I did.
The way that Randy actually had no idea what indigenous meant.
Yeah.
And he thought it meant like ignorant or something, so he like went on this whole spree because he actually misinterpreted what the word actually meant, and he thought people were calling him indigenous, and he took offense to that.
Yeah.
Even though he was trying to get rid of Columbus Day because of what it did to indigenous people. So he's just he's just completely confused, and by the end of the episode he's asking everyone to suck his asshole.
Yeah.
Which is like...
And everyone's telling him how much of an idiot he is, but because of what he's done, he's created a world where he can't be an idiot. In fact, I didn't even really take in that last little bit until you actually brought it up. And
oh yeah, no, the way that ended was perfect, because it was like the cycle of ignorance had fully completed, and now he's inviting people to just like insult him, and he's insulting them.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah. Very clever
so
show.
far, I'm so impressed by this season. It's only three episodes in, but fucking hell.
They've dropped the serial format. It's no longer like a full season storyline or whatever.
Because they fucked up last time.
Yeah, I think they built it all up and then just didn't do anything with it. And I think
I watched a thing about that. There's been some interviews and stuff done about it. In fact, the last episode is titled "The End of Serialization as We Know It."
Ah, there you go.
And what happened was they through some interviews and stuff, people kind of figured out that they thought Hillary was going to win.
Yeah,
so they built up the entire storyline so that Hillary won, and then they were going to go off on this giant tangent. They were going to go off on this huge storyline.
That was the wisecrack, wasn't it?
And it's wisecrack did it.
Yeah,
you're right. So that when Trump won, everyone was surprised.
South Park was they had storylines to tie up that they didn't know how to, and
so they had to just make shit up as they went along, which you'd think South Park would be great at doing, but they had already asked too many questions. They'd created too much to just go like, oh well, this happened instead. Like when but that's what they did. They just went, oh well, this happened. So that didn't feel like an actual series of events. That was just a response, not a real. It didn't make sense.
Yeah, no, it's. I reckon they're still incredibly clever. They just dug themselves a hole.
Yeah, but they knew that, and they tried to do what they could do, and then at the end they said in the last episode's title that we're not going to do that again. We fucked up. So let's go back to our regular programming. So far, it's pretty damn bloody good.
Pretty damn bloody good.
Those guys have to be two of the biggest geniuses of the last. I don't know. Two of the biggest biggest geniuses of our time, regardless of what some more PC or what more proper folk think of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a like a normie filter, as I like to say about a lot of different things. There's people who have the stomach for it, and it can actually like, it's still toilet humor, but I feel like I'm just creating a copy pasta for myself right now. The same way with that. To be fair, you have to be very intelligent to understand Rick and Morty's subtle humor. It's essentially how it is with South Park, though. You do have to like You have to be able to laugh at poop jokes and then realize they're making a grander statement about politics at large, and yeah.
Well, I think there's a reason most people don't read political cartoons in newspapers, because it's taking as much as like the cartoons are making fun of politicians who take themselves too seriously. The cartoons often taking themselves too seriously. The whole cycle, the whole world of politics is taking itself way too fucking seriously. And South Park boils it down to poop jokes, and like they took the two candidates for the presidency and they called them Turd Sandwich and a Giant Douche.
Yeah, but that's a callback to an earlier episode they actually had, like several seasons ago, where that was, they had to vote on one or the other, and I think Kyle said, no, I don't want to vote on this because I think it's stupid, I think it's ridiculous, and they exiled him from town by like each one by one walking up to him, tearing off a piece of his clothing and spitting on him.
That's right.
So they've like made a callback to the earlier Turd Sandwich Douche election. It's clever, it's just clever. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's nothing more.
Taking things like poop jokes. Hey, Rick and Morty does it. Rick and Morty does it with Rick burping all the time. That's their entry point. I think it's important to have an entry point where people can just jump in and laugh at a burp.
Yeah, just the fact that he like fucked up the line or whatever.
Yeah. Like that's enough. That's enough to get you invested, and then you can dive on in. You can dive on in.
Dive on in.
Dive on in.
Yeah, I agree. Once you get to know the writers, it actually can sometimes be a lot more fun.
Yeah. This is something that's kind of come up a lot with, like, we're watching new music and what, I don't know what you call it, just like quite avant-garde works of art.
Yeah.
And I think some of them are great. Some of them don't take themselves too seriously, and they know what they do, and they try and communicate really well what they're trying to communicate. But it's so easy to become really pretentious and really up themselves, because I think that entry point is so important in art. If you want to try and communicate something in particular, if you're just trying to make something for the sake of making something, then that's totally fine. That's why like people don't go to like 3-hour jazz odysseys just unless you already know that you like jazz odysseys, you know? Like,
right? No, I get you.
You don't just dive in, and that's why things like
Kind of Blue is a good entry point for like jazz.
Yeah. There's a lot of complexity, a lot of subtlety, but it's just easy to listen to. Or take alright, someone like Kendrick Lamar, I think is actually a really good example of this, because he knows his place within the art that he's trying to create, but he also really knows his place in the pop hip hop world.
Yeah.
So he'll create there's still singles in his releases, there's still entry points. There's still places where people find Kendrick and go, oh yeah, this is a great beat, this is a great hook, I really like this is good. And then there's way more depth you can go into. You don't need to at all, but there's that entry point. And
yeah,
if you're trying to communicate a clear message, an actual response to something that you want to talk about, I think that entry point is extremely important, and it's really hard to make a point without one. And I think South Park, Kendrick, and Rick and Morty know that.
Yeah, dig it. I haven't considered that before, so I'm glad you've let me know.
Well, there you go. Man, went on a bit of a rant there.
Oh, we're actually at the end.
Yeah, that fucking took us all the way home.
Alrighty.
Hey, look at that. That is the first episode that we've just talked solidly for an hour.
It's good stuff.
That's bloody good stuff. And I think we raised some good points to our viewers.
Yeah.
Comment in the comment section below why we were not correct.
Oh yes, totally. That'd be great. Just like, if Greg could fact check us on a lot of this shit, that'd be great.
Yeah, I would actually really like it if Greg and others could dive on in and let us know what what was wrong.
Dive on in is the meme of this podcast.
Do you know what that's from?
Nah.
It's Roger from American Dad. He runs a dive bar, and the tagline is "Dive on in." It sounds really Australian to me, so I like it. I like to.
Oh, outro! Quick outro.
Dive one out.
Yeah. Enjoy your day, fellas and ladies. Let me quickly search up the female version. Fellas.
Fillets. Fellas and fillets. Just let you enjoy the pan flutes.
Lass. No.
Lass.
No.
What?
No.
It doesn't matter. This is the outro, and
No,
we're
no.
gonna say goodbye.
My dear lady. No.
Bye, my dear lady. Alright, I am actually... Alright, we're done.
Oh, you can get away with fellow.
Okay.
Fellas and fellows. Nah, whatever. And in between. And outside of that too, because there's just the whole spectrum going right now.
Flawless.
Bye!